my name's Maria and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you a dish on how to make Mexican rice, Arroz a la Mexicana, or red rice, Arroz rojo. In Pueblo we call it Spanish rice because it's the rice with the tomato sauce. So I've got a pan right here and it's already has some oil in there because we're going to toast the rice. So I'm going to go ahead and start that process. So I've got my rice and I'm going to toast it in there. And it's like 1 cup of rice that I put in just now. And you can use about any rice. I use basmati, but anything will work. And you just toast it so that it gets like a little golden brown. You don't want to burn it, but you want it to be a little golden brown. And it kind of brings out like a nutty flavor to the rice when you toast it. If you don't like that, you don't have to toast it. You can just throw the rice in there with the water. Okay, so we've got the rice going, and I just wanted to tell you that you can use canned tomatoes. I have some canned tomatoes here. That's something you can use, and you could use like 3/4 of this in there. Or you can use fresh tomatoes. And that's what I've got today for us. Rice is pretty versatile. You can really make something quick with a quick dinner with it, and you don't have to put a lot of stuff in there, and it's a good meal. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little golden brown, that rice. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my tomatoes in there. And so you can hear that. You can hear that sound of sizzling tomatoes in there. And then I'm going to put 2 cups of chicken broth. And then that's going to quiet down a little. Now you don't have to use chicken broth. You can just use like 2 cups of water. So 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. And then you're going to get it all together, and then you're going to wait for it to start to boil. And then once it starts boiling, you're going to start adding things to it. And you can add like basically vegetables. I like to add vegetables there. And you can add fresh vegetables, chopped up little carrots, peas, chopped up little potatoes in there. Those are really good, corn. Or you can be lazy like me today and you can use some frozen vegetables. And that's what I have here today. I have a mixture of corn, green beans, peas, and carrots, and they're frozen. And that's something that I'll just throw in once it starts to boil. Now normally I don't use chicken broth because it's a little salty, and I usually just use some plain water. But I had chicken broth today, so I thought, well, I'll use that. And so if you have something like this, you can put that in there. It gives a little more flavor. Or you can use chicken flavor bouillon. And so this is something you can add. I would add like a tablespoon. Once it starts to boil, I would add that in there. And if it doesn't, if you don't have problems with MSG, it's okay. If you have issues with MSG, you might want to avoid this and find a chicken broth that would work for you, or just use water. And water works just fine. So you're just going to let it boil, and then we're going to throw in our vegetables. All right, so now it's starting to boil. And one thing I wanted to do before I add the vegetables, I wanted to talk to you about When you're making rice, the most important thing is you want a good pan with a good lid on it, okay? Nice and tight. Once you want a little bit of air to go through, but you don't want too much. And the main thing, the key about making rice is once you're ready to cover it, you're not going to lift that lid up for about 15-20 minutes. Not going to lift it up at all, because you don't want any of this steam, and I think you can see the steam right now. You don't want any of that escaping, because that's what's cooking the rice. So the rice is boiling pretty good right now, so I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables. And then that's going to cool it off a little because I'm using frozen vegetables, but that's okay. And I'm going to stir it in there, and then I'm going to let it boil. Take some time, get it back to boiling again. And then once it boils, then I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to lower the temperature, okay, to about like a simmer or to low. And you're going to cover it, lower the temperature, and then put your timer for about 15 minutes. If you put in more water than I did, then I would do it about 20 minutes. But I'm going to do about 15 minutes because it was 2 cups of water for the 1 cup of rice. And so now I'm going to cover it, and I'm not going to pick it back up until the timer goes off, okay? So we're going to cover that, and then we're lowering the temperature, and then we're just going to wait and see. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, and so now we're going to take the lid off of our rice. Ooh. And I don't know if you can see that steam. It's still steaming. And then this is our Arroz a la Mexicana. So it's got those vegetables, the tomatoes, and it's really good. One thing with rice, you're going to want to fluff the rice with a fork. And that helps to keep it from sticking, and it helps to just kind of get it moving and mixed together. So I'm going to put this on a plate so you can see it a little bit better. What's great is you can throw in a lot of vegetables in here, and it tastes great with all the rice and the tomatoes. And you can even put some Pueblo chilies in here. I like to do that. And put some Pueblo chilies in your rice. And then here is our Mexican rice. And one thing in the morning for breakfast, what tastes really good is if you get a plate like this of rice, you can put it in the microwave to heat it up if it's cold, and then you can fry an egg, and then once that egg is finished frying, put that on top of the rice, and it actually makes for a great breakfast. May seem a little weird to have rice for breakfast, but it works really well. And this dish is really versatile, so you can put a lot of different stuff in there. You can put chicken in there if you want chicken and rice. And it's just the key to rice is the lid and the pan. You want to make sure that they work really well together. And then the second key, don't open that lid until your rice is ready, so 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can open that lid. So I hope you enjoy your Arroz a la Mexicana, or your Mexican rice, or here in Pueblo we call it Spanish rice. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get to experiment and put a bunch of different things in there. Try it out, okay? Have a great day, and thanks for joining me today.